All righty. Good afternoon. How's everybody? It is
Good.
lovely to see you. And um,
Sorry.
we, we've got cat intrusion.
He's so bad.
Um, and so I just wanted to touch base with you guys today. And mostly the good news is we have a small group on with us today. However, that's likely because of later notice than we normally give, because Sue and I just kind of put this together just to throw it out there. But the good news is we're recording it, and so then I'll blast the link out to any of your colleagues who are not on. And we wanted to just revisit the insurance opportunity with you, because it's been a while, and since we had some focus on it, and allow you to kind of ask some questions and have Sue here to kind of talk about what that looks like in terms of the products that she brings to your clients, and then also just answer any questions about the longer term opportunity of potential partnership in the JV. So if it's all right with everybody on the call, what I'd like to do is just give you a 90-second kind of intro as to where this started and why we're even having this conversation. And then I see that we do have some of our new partners on the call, and Chris and Amy and Kimberly and Tama. Actually, we have a bunch of new partners on the call, which is awesome. And if you wanted to ask them questions or Sue questions, really kind of keep this as informal as possible so you get the info you need. Sound like a plan? All righty. Donna Doyle says yes, so we're moving ahead. So about a year ago, I was on the phone with one of the operating partners of a market center in New Jersey, who also happens to be part of a larger group in Pennsylvania. And we were just kind of talking, and we stumbled onto this conversation around they had this insurance joint venture in place that did a couple of things. And the first thing it did was offer to the clients of their market centers a really impressive opportunity to save clients money, right? And so instantly, they had my ear on that. How can we help you help your clients save money, which only just makes you more of a rock star in their eyes, which has retention hold higher and keeps referrals flowing, right, as we all are looking for. And so they introduced me to Sue and to Sue's partners in Safeguard Insurance. And as we all got to talking, it became clear that that really what Sue and her husband Joe do are offer really excellent products that can save your clients money. We get out ahead of the process, right? Because the referrals that you pass to Sue are within 5 days of your deal coming together, such that oftentimes Sue can actually provide house data for the property they're purchasing prior to the inspection, which only gives, again, more data points, makes you look like more of a hero to the buyers, and just solidifies that whole relationship. On top of that, add on top of that Sue's expertise in writing insurance that is actually only necessary and relevant and specific to the client, as well as great rates and saving people money. You kind of have a recipe for spectacular, right? And who doesn't look for a recipe for spectacular? The added benefit to this whole exciting experience is that as your business grows, you then have the opportunity via consistent referrals into the mortgage joint venture and consistent closings on the buy side to be offered when your numbers warrant it, right? And I can get into that towards the very end. It's the smaller part of today's conversation, but you have the opportunity to be offered potential buy-in to the JV, which again now Kim Trumba has joined us as well. So we have five of our new partners on the call today to buy into the JV, where then you get returns and dividends forever and ever, amen, as the company continues to write great business for buyer clients and continues to grow with market centers in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So that's kind of in a quick 2-minute synopsis, kind of what brought us to today. Sue, did you want to add anything to what I just said?
Yeah, I would love to add a few comments if you don't mind. Hopefully you can hear me okay. My speaker can sometimes be a little wonky on this. We're good? Yeah, everything Rick said is true. And, you know, just to kind of reiterate, a lot of you that are on the call, we've already been working with saving money. You know, our goal is save your clients money, get them the best coverage for that money, and make you look good in the process. And the way we do that are all the things that Rick said. And, you know, there are some additional added benefits to working with an insurance agency who also was a realtor. I was a real estate agent for 10 years. So I understand transactions and I understand what can happen with your client, some of those hot buttons that could even kill a deal. And we try very, very hard to keep it all together. If when we're doing the quote, for example, let's say we find something about the house that, you know, we found a large fire claim or something substantial that could really scare off a potential buyer, I'll pick up the phone and I will contact you, the realtor, to say, you know, how do we want to best handle this? It's a claim, it came up, it happened with the old the prior owners. It doesn't affect their insurance, but I don't want to scare them, you know, water damage, whatever. And we sort of game plan. You know, sometimes my realtors will say, hold that quote maybe for a couple of hours, let me get some information, but I never want you to be blindsided. You know, if it's something small under $5,000 or whatever, we'll just send it out. So that's one really big value added. If we run into some things where we just don't think we have a market and there's something really unusual or unique about it, we might also have a conversation about that, because not every home is insurable all the time. So, you know, we try to not just give your clients that quick answer. We look at ourselves as a partner to you, because like Rick said, you know, we are partners. I mean, you have that opportunity after, you know, those numbers warrant it to become a shareholder in the company. And, you know, we're all after the greater good from that standpoint.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And so before we open it up to questions, Chris, since you are on with us, and certainly Kim, Tama, Amy, Kimberly, if you want to add to what Chris is about to say, please feel free. But I'm asking Chris because of all of our new partners, Chris was the agent with the highest referral rate. And so congratulations on that. And I guess the question is, what have been your experiences? Why was this an opportunity you kind of jumped on? And what is the system you set up to make the referrals easy so that you didn't have to think about it?
Well, I mean, providing a service to the client. So that's first and foremost. And then to be able to earn income on the back end based on the amount of referrals, all we have to do is send the referrals. It doesn't matter if Sue closes them at all. If she didn't close a single one, we still have that opportunity. So all we need to do is send that referral, and it's just part of a process. You just need to have your under contract process, whether it's a sheet of paper with a bullet point checklist that you do for every step of the transaction, whether it's a transaction management system, whether it's Command or anything else. It just needs to be there and be the first step. As soon as you get a contract signed, within 24 hours, I send that email out.
You just simplified it by making it a part of your system. So it's not about who might need it or what you think. It's just everybody gets referred, and then Sue jumps in and does her job in the middle side of that to present why Safeguard might be a good option for them. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody gets it. Doesn't matter.
Got it. I love that. Anybody else want to make a comment? Any of our new partners, or anybody have questions? I'll open it up to anybody. Tama.
Hi, I just want to add that I am one of the people I referred to Sue, and I got quotes from several different insurance folks, and by far they saved me a lot of money. So that's just a plug from the consumer side.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you referred you, right? And what's cool is not only did you have a great experience, but you also saved yourself money, and that's what your clients are. Anybody else on the call have really good examples of how Sue was able to save your clients some substantial dollars?
I have one. He's not on the call.
Yeah, go ahead.
David White referred a client to me, and he's one of your realtors there. I can't remember which office, but he referred a client and we did home and auto, saved her $1,300 on the auto per year. She's thrilled. I mean, we got the quote out to her within an hour. We heard back like, is this for 1 year? Is this real? Yes, this is real. This is for 1 year with a great carrier. We've already issued it, ready for closing. You know, we can't do that for everybody, but that's just an everyday example that we have.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What other questions do you guys have around the process? Because we haven't really described the process yet. Sue and I can go through that with you if you'd like. What questions do you have? I want to make this as specific as possible to what's in your heads. Or those who have been using the services, if you wanted to mention any of your experiences. Kim.
Hi. So I just want to weigh in. So Sue's awesome. Hi, Sue. Thank you for everything. One thing I
Kim.
just want to piggyback on is that I called early on in the process with all this, and there was a couple holes in the system, and they were really good about finding better carriers for like flood insurance and those kinds of things. And so just if there's something that Sue doesn't have currently, she's always willing to be researching new products. So just as like a pro moving forward, they're working with us. Let me just back out of the room. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, question moving forward. So I'm just curious in terms of what returns to expect, what past performance has looked like as an investor. Is there any kind of numbers that we can review? I was just curious.
Yeah, and so I think I'll answer that on behalf of both Sue and I, and it's
And Bill.
that really
Bill
yeah,
has that info.
that really is that really rests with Bill. I can certainly ask that question. Here's what I can tell you: as any manager of an SEC regulated investment opportunity will answer. The answer is we can sort of point to an agent from last year and say this is what their returns were. Just recognize that it's not an earnings claim. There's never a promise. It is an investment. There's ups, there's downs, there's ins, there's outs, right. So there's risk involved. So when you say yes to being a partner, you need to understand that it's not every year is peaches and cream. And yet the expectations moving forward are that as we add our market centers and we continue to grow, and other market centers are added, and the ones that are here continue to grow, and more people plug in, that those returns will just simply go up. But in terms of a 5%, 10%, 15%, Kim, neither Sue or I are really able to answer that question.
I mean, Rick, I can add that, my understanding, and this is definitely something Bill would have all the hard numbers with, but my understanding is folks are getting their investment back very, very quickly. I mean, it's going to be profitable probably after the first check that you receive, is my understanding of this. And I know Bill gave out some numbers as far as what your shares are worth over 10 years. It's a nice amount of income. The percentages are going to beat any other investment, or they have to date. That's a better way to say it. Any other investment that I can think of. I know when I was an agent in the Bethlehem, Pennsylvania Market Center, we had opportunities similar to this. I took advantage of every one that I could, because when you have this group of agents and you all, like Chris, you made a good point. I don't have to close a single deal for it to count, but we want to close those deals. So if we're not closing those deals, we'll have conversations and say, okay, like what Kim said, what can we do to make it better? We're all after that same end result, but for hard numbers, Bill would be the guy to give us that answer. Like Rick said, I just know it's very good, and I wish I could buy in.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that, because you deserve something on that end as well.
I get my commission. I get paid on what I sell, so I'm happy.
Right, but the other answer I'll give on that is the way I think about it it's kind of, to me, it's like the profit share conversation, right? It's like if you earned 25 cents in profit share last month, well, it's 25 cents more than Coldwell Banker ever gave you, right? And so the idea of somebody said to me, well, I have somebody that I send my insurance to. I said, that's awesome. Talk to me about the opportunity that you have to earn from feeding that business, right? And the answer was, well, I don't have the opportunity to really earn anything. I'm like, well, that's why this is different. That's why we brought this to you guys, to be able to give you an opportunity to find additional means of passive income, whether it's this big, or this big. If it's passive and it's ongoing, sign me up. That's my thought.
Yeah, and Kim, I'll also add, I know Rick touched on it, but I want to reiterate, this is not just the Connecticut stuff. This isn't just based on the stuff you send in. We've had this joint venture with Safeguard for years now, and they're in the greater Philadelphia area where there are some nice high premiums. We've got folks there. I've got about 4 or 5 counterparts doing this through the Safeguard company. So I myself have 6 or 7 offices that my team, not all as big as yours, but that my team is working with throughout PA, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So, it's not just what we're doing in Connecticut, which is nice. PA has been really good.
That's great. And then you said that dividends, they pay throughout the year. Can those just stay vested or reinvested? And then the second part of that is, once we're in the program, I understand we stay in the program, but then there's additional possible investments in the future for more shares.
So Kim, here you're kind of asking questions that really are geared towards Bill, which was kind of not the intent of this little half hour, right? And so they're great questions.
Yeah.
I think we recorded when Sue and Bill were in the Stanford Market Center, and those questions were answered there. So you can check YouTube for that one, or connect with me afterwards, and I'll be happy to answer that as I understand it.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Anybody else have thoughts, questions, ideas? Should we maybe go through the process? Dave, go ahead and ask your question.
So 2
Yes, my
questions. One is,
question is-
me or
Oh,
somebody
sorry,
else?
I have Dave and David. So Dave first, and then David Lee.
Okay. I guess my question is, I am interested, how do we become eligible? Because I realize it's an eligibility thing for I understand, or no?
Yeah, it is definitely an eligibility thing, and I'm going to give you the basic parameters. Understand that these are basic parameters, right? With flexibility inside of them, and so you become eligible once you've closed a minimum of 10 buy sides in a 12-month period of time. Then once you've done that, Sue will then look at your referral rate, right, of all of those partners. And we really look for partners to be referring as close to 100% as is possible of those buy sides into the joint venture. Again, whether Sue's able to capture them and close on them, that we pass that responsibility off to and Safeguard at that moment in time. The good news is she's really good at that. But the idea of you referring and giving Sue the at-bats is what we're looking for in terms of judging, partnership. And so when Sue brings her thoughts about your referral systems and your referral rates, and I bring to the table the units closed, that confirmation, we then kind of confirm with Bill, who is, I don't know, he's like what is Bill's title? So I don't even know.
Bill's title, I'm not 100% sure, other than to tell you he's in charge of the joint ventures, the number stuff, the shares, the distribution. What happens is, we consult, Bill, you and I consult, and then Bill ultimately takes that to Peter, the owner, and they kind of make those determinations together. I just provide the insight on how the partners are performing. Things like, hey, I'm getting a lot of referrals, but they're not going anywhere. Are they warm? Maybe we can have a conversation, but it's an eligibility thing, and it's based on home buyers. It's not based on tenant policies or your friends and family. It's strictly home buyers.
Yeah. And
Okay, so as a new agent, basically, I'm not eligible to be part of the profit share yet, but I could start referring right away, and that's my barometer for application for next year. Okay, thank you.
100%. That's well
Okay.
said. That's well said. Even if you don't hit that metric of 10, 20, 30 buy sides yet, by starting the whole machine of referrals and building the system that everybody just gets referred to the company, you're almost like backdating your eligibility process, because those referrals will start counting positively towards you even before you have your 10.
Yeah, I believe
you.
it's a rolling 12 months as well that Bill looks at. So
Yeah.
it's not just a calendar year.
Right. David Lee.
Okay, so I think maybe you answered one of my questions, which was, can you just refer somebody that's not buying, let's say your neighbor or something like that, and if they end up signing them, does that count?
Sure, you can refer them, but it doesn't count.
Ah,
And the
they're
premise
not-
behind that, oh, sorry, go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, so I was just going to say that they're not qualified referrals, right? And so the idea is we distinguish between referrals and qualified referrals. Qualified referrals are what we look at, kind of looking at the eligibility for partnership. But the idea is to make the entity as profitable as possible, so that when and if you are eventually offered that partnership opportunity, the venture is roaring back and pays you back as quickly as possible, and then allows you to just sit back and enjoy profit. So any referrals are welcomed and encouraged. However, it's those home buyers that will stack towards your eligibility.
okay, and then the second question is, we had referred somebody, but the home was a higher valued home, $2 million, and they said they couldn't cover it. So has there been any change to that?
Yes, there has. And a lot of that depends, and I'm trying to remember, if you give me some details, I might even have more insight around that, because we cover $2 million homes all day long, but there are some other things with that. If it's in a location where we have wind concerns, wind pool, hurricane
No, it was in
deductibles,
Wilton, Connecticut.
square
and it was
footage.
$2
Yeah,
million,
Wilton
and it
sometimes,
was
do you
6,000
have a last
square
name
feet.
for me?
Urban was the last
Sorry.
name.
Oh, yeah, I remember it well. No, that's not,
So do we.
that's actually not true. That's not true. I don't know what you were told, but there's a lot more to that story. We actually covered them twice. We wrote 2 policies for them, but they are now with someone else
Ah,
for reasons that I cannot disclose.
okay, I
But
will,
anyway,
I'll leave it
yeah,
at that. I
we'll
just
leave it
know
at that. But
we
no,
referred
we
and it
actually
didn't happen,
found,
so.
we found 2 markets for them, because the
Gotcha.
first market had to be changed. But anyway, we have Chubb, which, as you all know, they can do
Right,
the gamut. In fact, I'm working on one now for Dan Lyden that I'm trying to get his primary in Florida, because I have someone that could help with that, which would be a $10 million primary. So that can help the cause here. But yeah, we can do all of that. It's just some of our markets, as Kim was alluding to, there are these parameters in Connecticut when we're dealing with anything even remotely close to the coast, where we've got wind deductibles, or some of our carriers look at square footage, or they'll look at market value versus replacement value. So every now and then we'll bump up against a little issue, but as far as that particular file goes, we could have a sidebar. We'll talk
okay,
about that
no
one.
problem. Thank
Yep,
you
yep,
very
but I
much.
appreciate you brought that up. Thank
Yep,
you.
thank you.
And I think that's the whole point of just set up a system and make sure that each of your buyers that Sue has the at-bat with each of your buyers, because the reality about pushing people to this entity to continue to grow this entity and make it more and more profitable so it can pay more of you more back over time. You have to remember that it's just like mortgage, just like taking listings, just like working with buyers. There is no such thing as 100%, right? There's always going to be a something or a someone or a parameter or a condition or a whatever that doesn't enable full closure. And there's also the human element, right? Because you're referring real human people to Sue, and sometimes humans have weird ideas about what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And so, all of those things put into the mix says that volume is the key to continue to grow all of this so that we all have the opportunity for benefit. I will say this as well. One of the reasons that that Debbie and I are in business now with Bill and Sue at the level we're in business with them is because we chose not to wait until our market centers were big enough to have our own joint venture, which in the long term would have been far more profitable for she and I, right? But it would have meant waiting 5 years to have those profits come back to all of you. And so we made the decision to join an existing joint venture that we have no ownership in, just by the way, right? So if it starts to sound like I'm beating you over the head saying, use the KW, insurance connection, it has nothing to do with any dollar that Debbie or I earned from any of this, right? This was really all about offering you guys an opportunity to grow and find ways to create passive income, or else we would have just waited and started our own and had way different metrics on the back end. We were willing to give up those metrics to get into business with Sue and Bill earlier, knowing that they were already kind of doing a great job with New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and step into something profitable faster so that you guys could start seeing the return faster.
That's a great point, because they had to grow into where we're at. I even came on board after all the bumps and bruises. So yeah, it's been good that way.
Love it, love it, love it. What other questions exist out there? All right, so I'm going to end, because I promised you a half hour and we're almost up with that half hour. I'm going to end with just a quick review, and you'll get this in an email.
Rick, I
from
had
me.
a quick question. I jumped out a little late.
Yes, James.
Sorry, you might have answered this. And like I said, I apologize. I jumped out a little bit late, and I don't know if this is a question for this type of meeting or whatnot, but I simply just wanted to know, and I know you've gone over some of the qualifications, as someone who has, 10 buyer deals over in a calendar year, what is the initial investment, like nominal number that would need if I want to jump on something like this?
So that's a great question, and that's actually something that we can answer, because it's a pretty static number. The share offerings are depending on your buy side numbers, a minimum of 3 and then a maximum of 9. So 3, 6, and 9 shares, and that's kind of a minimum of 10 buyers per year, a minimum of 20, and then a minimum of 30 and above, right? So just so you see how that works. And then the shares are at least currently, I don't know if this changes ever, but the share cost is $250 per share. So it's a really minimal investment that, again, most people earn back in their first dividend check, and then that grows to again, I'm not going to quote numbers. I'll leave that to Bill. And when I send out the process, the golden letter info tonight, I'll put a link to our YouTube recorded video where Sue and Bill came to the Stanford Market Center and had more of those detailed conversations, so that you can hear it directly from Bill. I just prefer not voicing that, because it's not really my information to voice.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Does that help, James?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool beans. And so Sue, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and the only thing I wanted to throw out there is, don't ever hesitate to call me or email me if you just want to run something by me, or you have a question, or, and keep in mind, we can help with flood insurance and, anything related to that insurance contingency on that contract. Don't be afraid to reach out to me and, bounce it off me.
Yeah, Sue is awesome at being that insurance resource, and like I said, she like she said, she's been in your shoes. She knows what it is to, be bombarded with everyone wanting a piece of your business. She's just the only one who has some financial benefit on the back end structured for you. So it's kind of a real plus. Donna Doyle.
Can we get her contact information so we know where to send buyers to?
Yeah, 100%. So Sue, if you could put that in the chat. However, I'm going to send out by the end of the day today, by dinner time today, another email reminding everyone of where Sue can be reached, what the process is, right? Because here I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of the process. you have a contract fully executed, and within 5 days, I like to say within 3 days, because we all know that sometimes our time frame gets a little elongated with being busy, right? So within those first 3 days or so, you send an email, which we've already written for you. It's called the golden email, right? You address it to your clients and send that off to them, copy Sue on it, and then Sue takes it from there. It's literally that simple. So signed contract, email saying what the golden email says, which basically says, hey, you know what? Great opportunity. Let's put the two of you together to save you a lot of time and money for your homeowner's insurance. And then Sue picks it up immediately from there. She reaches out, she calls them, she creates the contact and moves it forward from there. So really the only thing that's a system for you to put in place is to send that golden email out within, again, I'm just being mean because I'm going to say 3 days. Sue will tell you 5, but I like 3 just so you make sure that you're in that 5-day parameter. And then it goes from, it's almost like autopilot, right? It's a very simple process.
Yeah, and having the address in the subject line, and then also we do tell them in that golden email that they're going to find out if there have been any claims on the property. So getting them in within the first 5 days can get that information to them before inspections.
Yeah, that's the other reason
Yep.
that's so important, right? And so Kimberly's question, do I mean, I mean the first meeting of the minds, right? And so if you're writing contracts, the contract signing. If you're writing offers to purchase, the signature on the offer to purchase. If you're writing purchase agreements, both signatures on the purchase agreement. So when you have an accepted offer, within 3 to 5 days of that golden email needs to just head out, and then Sue will pick it up from there. Thank you for that.
I'm glad
clarity.
Kimberly brought that up, because in New Jersey, in PA, they don't use attorneys. In New Jersey and Connecticut, there is attorney use, and to wait until after attorney review, their mortgage guy already gave them somebody. It's too late for me then. So,
Yeah, so true, so true. Any other questions before we finish today? No. All right, guys. So just remember, watch for the email for later on tonight with all of the details on this. Here's my thought. If you've not done a referral to Sue, your next one, just do it. And then make the decision yourself, right? Don't take our word for it. Go ahead and just refer your next buyer to Sue within that time period, such that she can kind of be the most helpful and the most effective for you and your clients as possible, and then watch how that goes. And I think what you'll find, as many of your colleagues have found, is that it goes really, really well and really smoothly, such that you'll want to keep doing that. If for no other reason, it's a great service for your buyers. And the fact that there's then a potential opportunity for you, depending on numbers and referral rates and all that stuff, is just kind of an added bonus. So I'm excited to dive back in and get everybody refocused on Safeguard. Sue, we appreciate you and your skills and everything you do to help us sell more houses. And guys, watch for the email for later tonight.
yeah, and I appreciate you all so much. I love it. I'll be up. I have to be up in Stamford at some point too. We have to get up there. So
Sounds good. We'll see you
Thanks
soon,
again.
everybody.
bye-bye.